You know that feeling when fear grips you? The sweaty palms, racing heart, and the overwhelming urge to run? What if I told you that fear, while it feels crippling, could actually be your secret weapon? In today's video, we're going to uncover the psychology of fear and learn how to face what scares you head on. Whether it's public speaking, failure, or fear of the unknown, I'm about to share how you can turn fear from your enemy into your ally. Stick around, this will change how you approach your fears forever. Fear is an emotion deeply rooted in our biology. At its core, fear is a survival mechanism that dates back to when humans lived in the wild. Imagine a caveman out hunting. If they encountered a predator, their brain would instantly trigger the fight or flight response. The heart would race, blood would rush to muscles, and they'd either fight the predator or flee to safety. This response is an ancient, hardwired part of being human. But in the modern world, most of us aren't fighting off wild animals anymore. Instead, we face psychological fears, public speaking, failing an exam, or worrying about our future. But here's the thing about fear. It's not as much about what's in front of you as it is about what's inside you. Fear distorts reality, making threats seem far greater than they actually are. Your mind often blows things out of proportion, creating imagined risks or outcomes that may never happen. Understanding this is crucial, because once you know how fear works, you can begin to take control of it rather than letting it control you. So, how do you face fear instead of running from it? It starts by retraining your brain to view fear as information, not a signal to stop. Practical tips to face your fears. The first step is to understand what's scaring you. Our brains are quick to react to fear, but if you pause and label the emotion, it loses some of its power. Ask yourself, what exactly am I afraid of? Is it the fear of failure, embarrassment, or not being good enough? When you put a name to the fear, it goes from an overwhelming monster to something you can deal with. This is a basic principle in psychology, known as affect labeling. By identifying the emotion, you gain control over it. One of the most powerful techniques for overcoming fear is called cognitive reframing. When we're afraid, we often look at the situation from the worst possible angle. We assume the worst-case scenario and immediately think we're doomed. But that's not always the reality. For example, if you're afraid of speaking in public, instead of thinking, "I'm going to embarrass myself," try reframing it. I have an opportunity to share something valuable with others, and they're not expecting perfection. This small shift in perspective helps you move away from a negative, fear-driven mindset and towards a more constructive, hopeful one. The best way to reduce fear is through gradual exposure. This is a technique that's been used in psychological therapy for decades. If you're afraid of something, the more you expose yourself to it in controlled small doses, the less intimidating it becomes. If you're terrified of speaking in public, start small. Speak to a mirror, then to a friend, then a small group. Each time you face your fear, it becomes more manageable. Over time, the brain starts to rewire itself to understand that the fear isn't as dangerous as it first appeared. One of the quickest ways to calm your body and mind when fear strikes is to practice deep breathing. When we're scared, our bodies react by going into fight or flight, which means your heart races. Breathing becomes shallow and your muscles tense up. To combat this, use a technique known as diaphragmatic breathing or deep belly breathing. Inhale slowly through your nose, letting your abdomen expand, then exhale slowly through your mouth. Repeat this for a few minutes and you'll notice your heart rate slowing and your mind becoming clearer. This is a tip used by athletes and performers alike. Visualization. Instead of focusing on your fear, focus on the outcome you want. Picture yourself succeeding. See yourself confidently giving a presentation, acing that exam, or handling a difficult conversation with ease. Visualization helps rewire the brain to focus on positive outcomes instead of the worst-case scenario. This technique creates neural pathways that strengthen the idea that success is possible. Over time, it helps build your confidence in facing future challenges. Your inner dialogue plays a huge role in how you experience fear. If you tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," or "I can't do this," fear becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But when you counter these negative thoughts with positive affirmations, you're reprogramming your brain to think differently. Try affirmations like, I am capable, I can handle this, or this fear is just an obstacle and I will overcome it. By repeating these affirmations regularly, you slowly change how you perceive challenges. One of the main reasons we fear is that we're terrified of failure. But failure is not the end. It's actually an essential part of growth. Every time you fail, you learn something valuable. It's a stepping stone, not a roadblock. Instead of running from failure, embrace it. Understand that no one succeeds without failing at least once. So, fail fast, learn, and keep moving forward. Facing fear alone can be daunting. That's why having a support system is key. Whether it's a friend, family member, or even a mentor, sharing your fears with others can make them feel less intimidating. Talking about what scares you often lessens the emotional load and provides clarity. Having someone to encourage you can also help you stay motivated when your courage wavers. Find your people and lean on them when you need to. Lastly, be kind to yourself. Fear is a normal human experience, and you're not weak for feeling it. Don't beat yourself up when you're afraid. Instead, treat yourself with the same compassion that you'd offer to a friend in the same situation. Practice self-compassion by acknowledging your feelings, giving yourself permission to be imperfect, and encouraging yourself to try again when things don't go as planned. To recap, fear is an innate biological response that keeps us safe. But in the modern world, it often misfires, holding us back from reaching our true potential. The key to overcoming fear is understanding how it works and learning how to reframe and face it head on. Start by naming your fear, then gradually expose yourself to it, breathing deeply and visualizing success along the way. Challenge your negative thoughts with positive affirmations, embrace failure as part of growth, and always remember to surround yourself with a supportive network. Facing your fears isn't easy, but it is possible. The more you practice, the more you'll realize that fear is just a feeling and not a barrier. If you're ready to face your fears and start living a more empowered life, leave a comment below telling me what fear you're working through right now. Let's support each other and build a community that's unafraid to take on the world. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more powerful tips to unlock your potential. Hit the bell icon for notifications. We've got more content coming your way that will help you awaken your mind and tackle life's challenges head on. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, fear doesn't define you. How you respond to it does. The next time you feel that fear creeping in, take a deep breath and remember these steps. You've got this. Stay fearless and keep awakening that powerful mind of yours. See you in the next video.